Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's the Hood Mystic here with my nearest and dearest. Back with another video. Today we're going to be reacting to Terrence Howard's recent viral interview with Joe Rogan. I'm the Hood Mystic representing ColumbianExchange.com, WhiteRabbitSite.com. We got our main man Serpent, my main man AD, and my main man Jabri. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. Let them know y'all the social media handles and what content you got coming up, any products, services, or goods you offering to the collective. We about to have a fire ass build. So I hope y'all niggas is ready.
Yeah, we ready, man. Peace to the tribe, peace to the family. Thank you for showing up. And if you ain't hip, get hip to the hottest book club out, the strongest, most powerful occult book club. We coming harder than ever. Fuck, pause. We stepping harder than ever.
Next word.
Yeah, we stepping harder than ever. Come check us out as we going through the books of Genesis, as we gonna be stepping into Exodus soon next month. So be ready. We coming with some hot fire. Book me for a reading. Y'all having relationship trouble? You trying to figure out your chart? Hit me up. I'm the one to talk to, man. And that's just from the love. But check out my co-host Breeze, as he's here today as
Dessert. Just following up what AD said, check out the Hero Fans Book Club. I put my Instagram handle in the chat. You can follow me, hit the link tree. You can get to the readings that I do, tarot readings and astrology readings. What else? Oh, and the book club, YouTube. So check that out. And yeah, man, let's do this video.
That Serpent going to be coming in and out. What's up? You there? You there, brother?
You're talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my bad. Sacred Serpent, Dark Sacred Serpent, Racine Maurice, initiates all over the planet. This is where we at. This is what's going down. Thank you and welcome for the space. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Now, let's preface this. We are the initiates of the flame. And basically, we represent the invisible college or the spiritual college of spiritual seekers and the understanding and overstanding of spiritual truths. In order to perceive a spiritual truth, you have to be initiated by a specific spirit, a human being that has lived a normal life or an extraordinary life, but they live nonetheless. This is how you are initiated. So the issue with being an initiate is that you can't buy your way into initiation. You can't, wish for it. The spirits have to come and say, Jabri, I grant you access. AD, I grant you access. Sacred, I grant you access. Kyrie, I grant you access. And one of those particular spirits is Pascal, Beverly, Randolph. We all have our own connection and our own understanding and understanding of what he means to us personally. But we started this, some will call it a YouTube channel or whatever, a Discord group or whatever. But really, it's real spiritual knowledge being guided by some of the greats. And so, part in our surprise when we looked on Twitter's and seen Terrence Howard was going viral. So, me, Serpent, I don't think AD and Jabri have seen it yet. He gets to talking some real spiritual goodness that I feel like we all should hear. So this is why we're here reacting to Terrence Howard because we couldn't say it no better. But one of Terrence Howard's most, the reason why I say Terrence Howard is Pascal Beverly Randolph, the eye test, first of all. Second of all, what we're about to see in this video, make sure you like, share, subscribe, put a ones in the chat if you want to hear what Terrence Howard is bringing on the Joe Rogan podcast. Like the video, because the second thing is he's proving that consciousness exists outside of the body. You get impregnated with consciousness, and then you become the person that you are based upon consciousness. But what if his claims to fame is the flower of life? Rosicrucian's main emblem is a rose. A rose is a flower. Pascal Beverly's whole shtick, if you get his book, I got it down there, I'll get it in a second, is all about the rose and Rosicrucianism. It's a secret society. It's a secret initiation. And so, when we are unfolding our spiritual lives, when we are getting in tune with our flame, in tune with our rose, we're going to see signs. And so, anytime we see a sign and we can all link up like Voltron, we're going to react and tune in and tap in to the present current of the energy and let y'all know. Thank you, baby. This is the book. Get this book and it'll tell you all about the Invisible College. So I can go on and on and on. Before I start to react to this video, y'all got anything to say, to add on or dismiss anything that I just said?
I just want to add on. Oh,
go ahead, Breeze. Go ahead, bro.
No, you go ahead.
Well, it was the fact that he talked about the Rosicrucian using the symbol of the rose, and the fact that we have this demon rose out here destroying some of these beautiful women, goddesses.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
So just peep the fucking attack, man. Just peep the attack. It comes in all forms. But go ahead, Breeze. That's all I have to say.
And I just want to add, who did a video about Jean Point de Sabo as well, a Haitian-born man who founded Chicago during, I want to say the 1800s, late 1700s to 1800s, and there's some connections with him to Pascal Beverly Randolph, and I just wanted to mention his name, because I actually, just a side note, my sister is in Chicago right now, so I'm actually going there this Friday. And I'm about to go see him again, Probably wipe down the sculpture a little bit with some Florida water or something, Because that's big boss energy.
Yeah, found in the whole city. That's a thriving metropolis. And then the most demonized place.
The only thing I like to add is that if there was ever such thing as a spiritual idol, that's he's the closest thing to me as a spiritual idol. Like I love everything about that man, everything he stood for, and all the fuck shit that people say about him. That shit makes me like him even more. So let's get it.
All right, so the rules of the reaction video, fellas, is whenever y'all want me to stop, just let me know. I'll stop. We can have a conversation in reference to the video that we are watching.
Because I
RAD thoughts.
You said what, big dog?
What's your thoughts so far? You have been taking notes?
Yeah, so my thing is, and I was actually, it's crazy how you said that, I searched it up, but when he mentioned the platonic solids, and then the first he was talking about in his dreams, before we even get into the solids first, let's talk about dream work and just how he was able to see things that wasn't even in existence yet in his dream at a young age, and he's bringing it to reality, like trying to bring it to discovery. And I feel like that's one thing that people need to be doing to like find a purpose. Cause like
It's all within you.
it's just crazy how he on some magician shit right now. Just talking about, yeah, I was just randomly doing dream work and realizing that I was in my dreams.
I've came across information where basically when you dream, it is your DNA giving you some type of vision. You get what I'm saying, of what's to happen soon. It's almost it's very predictive, but it's on you to build your understanding of how to decode your own dreams and the symbolism in your own dreams, because you may see your grandmother in the dream, and you have to. Well, so if I see my grandmother in my dream, I would think of my feelings towards my grandmother. You know what I mean? Or some random kid from high school that I was friends with in high school, but we not friends anymore. You know what I mean? It a lot that goes on in your dream. It depends on how you feel in your dream. Do you feel scared? Do you feel comfortable? Do you feel like you figuring something out? And that'll be a key indicator as well.
But you know what that really screams to also, job, bro? It's really like understanding that when you got to really bring yourself clarity before you go to bed, because for the people who actually doing the work, if you going to sleep and you stressing about work, you stressing about bullshit, or you thinking about Tata-licious, you know, you're never really gonna be speaking the source. You're gonna be stuck in the illusion, and you're gonna be like, damn, like, you know, I kept seeing Shorty that I'm banging, but I can't. I gotta walk out this door, but I can never walk out the door because I keep having sex in my dreams. You know, so you should catch up on our previous episode where we talk about succubus. So if you clap in your dreams, maybe your purpose getting stolen. But I digress.
There's a lot of niggas in the dream world working.
Yeah. I think it's super profound. You know, just the idea, because they always speak about, or at least based on the understanding, you know, they say that the life that the mother is leading during the trimesters, you know, the trimesters that exist within the baby is still in the womb. You know, that life that she's leading at that time is ultimately going to determine the type of life that baby is going to have. And that's profound that he was talking about having the wherewithal to try and remember where he was at. And then at the same time, he came out and he spoke about how his dad was getting out of jail for manslaughter. It obviously had a profound impact on his upbringing. And I think it also, like these brothers alluded to already, points to the reality that a lot of people may not be readily privy to, you know, based on, you know, the majority of your life. How many people tell you that 1/3 of your life is going to exist within dreams, right? And I think these brothers, you know, are speaking to it now, and they say it's important that you learn how to read and discover what those meanings in those dreams are. Because if 1/3 of your life exists without you knowing what is being translated or communicated to you, then that's a whole sea of information that you just don't have, that obviously is necessary for a person to have. If you tell somebody that they're going to live their entire life and 1/3 of their life they'll have no understanding for whatsoever, that's a problem. Like, I think that would be an issue. So like dreaming, dreamscapes, dream awareness, understanding, like, yeah, that he's onto some real profound shit right now.
And I just want to add, like what he was saying with the vision test, that's Pascal Beverly Randolph in the camera, and to connect him to Dusabo, Terrence Howard was born in Chicago.
Shut the fuck up, bro. That is so fucking crazy.
And
Mine, that's a Chicago dude. He is a Chicago dude.
and we know Gene Pont DuSable founded Chicago. And then Pascal Beverly Randolph died in Toledo. Terrence Howard was raised in Cleveland, Ohio, which is about
hour and a half drive. Yeah.
2 hours.
You said it. You said enough, bro. That's a mic drop right there.
Hey, we can't make this shit up. You hear me? Real spiritual shit, bro. Pay the fuck, man. Whatever.
I just wanted to add that, and I mean,
nobody's gonna ever say that on the internet in the history of the internet.
And for the people that like numbers right now, if it means anything to you, he's 55.
Type shit.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
God damn. I ain't even want to get deep into it. I was just like, if the eye test don't get you, then fuck it. You know what I mean? Like, it don't matter.
Yeah.
But when he's talking about, Joe Rogan said, that's crazy. You had your thoughts from the beginning of your life. He said, no, nigga. This happened before I even came into consciousness. I realized that I was somewhere else before I came here. And if conscious niggas and women, beautiful goddesses, understood this principal concept, that's going to absolve you of 99% of your confusion in all of what you're experiencing in this dimension. You have existed before you have existed as a parent, as a mom, as a dad, as a kid, a post office worker. Like, whatever you are in this life is not really the bee's knees. It's more to this shit. And I just love how he's so eloquently breaking the matrix right before our eyes, because this is going out in front of millions of people, bro. They're not going to get knowledge from a black man ever. So that would then tie back into Pascal Beverly Randolph. Y'all ready to keep listening or what? We good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we're not going to review the whole video, we just going to get into what we get into. And y'all let us know in the comments if there's any specific comments, because I'm far away from my computer. Let me know. I will definitely put them on blast. If y'all got any questions, comments, or concerns?
I got one concern, Hood. That somebody said, "Can you just turn the music down just a tad?"
Okay, for sure.
Yeah, they had hit me up, let me know. So that's really it. All right, bet.
As y'all gotta elaborate on what bro just said, please.
This nigga basically said he started patenting shit because he started remembering equations and shit that he invented or working on, right? Am I correct? Like he could have cured his mother's illness with an equation that he had. Like, what kind of psychonaut shit is that, bro?
Right. Who is that one guy? The Superman, the villain in Superman. Like, damn, what's his name? And when Superman see him, it's on sight. Like, he embarrassed Superman. Like, he erased Superman memory, made him think that he was.
Talking about Lex Luger?
No, not Lex Luger. Fuck. He a blue dude. He got a blue suit and he got red eyes.
Bizarro?
No, not Bizarro. Hold on. He like a villain that's worse than both of them combined.
Brainiac?
Not Brainiac. Damn, what's his name?
You're not talking about Dr. Doom, are you?
No, not Dr. Doom.
That's DC.
Darkseid.
Marvel. Oh, Darkseid.
Darkseid.
Yeah,
so
Darkseid
I remember
built his ass.
Yeah, but look, Darkseid, he had something that was called the anti-life equation. And basically with this equation, you know, he was a villain in comic books, so he just wanted to destroy everything. And with that equation, he basically could do what Thanos did with the snap, but he didn't need to collect no stones to do it. And it makes me think of Terrence Howard, how basically he's getting solutions to his problems through his dreams. And the key thing is, I mean, he didn't finish saying what he was saying, but I'm thinking that he's going to talk about basically logging his dreams, and that's what makes them. That's what helps you become more aware in your dream state as you know write out what happened. You know, every day. You know, at least every 2 days. Don't let too many days go by. But as you log your dreams and fill your dream journal up, it'll help you remember them more and remember more details. And then, boom, you got that. Now this becomes some type of grimoire, and now you can go back to it. You know, and it's kind of like you building your own mythos, if you will. You know what I mean? You building literally like a book for your existence, if that makes sense. Like spiritual existence, spiritual lifestyle. Because it's nothing but just messages just hitting you. And you don't always know what the hell is going on. I don't care. Well, shit, as long as I've been journaling my dreams, probably like 8 years, I don't always know what's going on, but writing them down will still help, because you may be in a situation like, damn, I dreamed of this. You know, and it'll give you insight. But that's what came to mind.
If you got four black brothers up here, I don't even like saying black for real, four melanated brothers up here telling you to write in the book, monitor your dreams and your emotions, there's something deeper going on to life. I'm gonna just put it like that. You say you special, but you don't got a journal. All right.
Yeah.
When you,
I think like
when
go
you,
ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was
No, go
going to
ahead.
say like when you take into a, I was going to say like when you take into account that your DNA is millions and millions and millions of miles long, and within that DNA strand, those DNA strands, you have every single ancestor that came before you. So, if you were trying to understand your existence, if you were even just trying to just tap into that reservoir of what's going on, like, how is it that you could go through all of these nights and all of these dreams and get all of these messages and not trying to code that? Like, I think it's a total disservice to self, you know? Like, honestly, like if your ancestors wanted to send you messages about what was going on right now, you wouldn't even be able to receive that because you don't think this is anything that makes sense. You don't think this is anything that's real, right? But yet you still get downloads all the time and you just don't know why those downloads happen. And then you see certain correspondences within your life that connect to certain downloads, and you choose to ignore those too. But you know they're there, you know they exist. So like intuition is a huge thing. And when you get to a point of trying to understand and decode dreams, like all of this stuff that this man is talking about is crazy. And I'm just grateful that he did it at this time, really.
Nah, for real. Ever since I had that dream about Hood eating a Pop-Tart, I just want to say I've been making money. You know why? Because that gave me the intuition to burn and work with the herb cinnamon. So you might have a dream and you see your homie fighting or something or whatever, but it might be some money. So just really fuck with your dream journal, bro. That's all I gotta say.
So that's the crazy part. We was actually burning cinnamon. Like that's the crazy part. Like you had said that in the dream, but in real life we was burning cinnamon. I think we burning cinnamon right now as you speak. But I just feel that like he has said, if you peep what he said that his whole acting career was a mistake, which is he could have saved his mom's life if he did what he was supposed to do, which is what he's doing now, right? What is he doing? He's going to colleges. Like he made it to Joe Rogan because you can type Terrence Howard speaking in front of like graduate students about his knowledge. So I'm saying all of this to say, and I also have an old video on manipulating the matrix where I have this old professor saying to solve advanced calculations, he would work to a point, go to sleep, and then the next thing happened. So he can come back the next day and finish those calculations. My third point, and then I'll continue to react, is when I used to be a forklift driver, I would be driving that fucking forklift all day. I would go to sleep, and I would still be driving that motherfucking forklift. And so you got to be conscious of what you're doing every day for work. Not to say what you're doing for work is bad, but it's going to extenuate into your dreams. So take, like, say you got a business and you work 8 hours towards your business and you reach a roadblock in your business, sleep on it, wake up, the answer will be revealed to you, and you can continue on working for your business. And this is just the tutelage that I've used to maintain my own small business. But you got to actually trust yourself enough to know that your higher self is not going to have you looking stupid. But if you're not doing the work, such as dream journaling, presenting yourself with a problem at night, finding a solution in your dreams, enacting that solution, then you might feel as though what you're actually doing is the good thing to do. But the best thing for you to do is to follow yourself through the dream world. So, ones in the chat, or let us know, not even the ones in the chat, but in the chat, let us know, do you have a difficulty with recalling your dreams? Yes, I have a difficulty. No, I don't. I'll be dreaming every night. And if you have a solution to bring your dream recall up, put it in the comments or put it in the chats right now. If you liking this video, like the video, share the video, throw some ones in the chat for the algorithm. I'm good to go, or y'all got something to say before I hit play?
I'm good here.
All right, Breeze is our resident engineer. You're a chemical engineer. Am I mistaken?
No, that's correct. Yep, my bachelor's in chemical engineering. Yep.
Hey, so you would know more about what he's saying than anybody on this live, on this panel, probably put together. Is what he's saying concise, or is he giving us the good old conscious mumbo jumbo?
No, what he's saying is very concise. I'm I'm sitting here looking at the Walter Russell periodic table, and Walter Russell's table is a lot more encompassing, just like Terrence Howard was describing. It's a lot more encompassing of how matter behaves. I'll just call it the classical. The classical periodic table just talks of things in a physical state. Its only concern is matter. But this accounts for frequency. So with frequency, you encompass all states of matter. I think this is amazing, honestly. You know, because when he was talking about breaking water bonds, which is the H2O, I remember doing experiments in like general chemistry, which is probably like freshman or sophomore chemistry in college. It was the electrolysis where you put electrical currents in there to break the bonds, and then you just take the hydrogen gas off top. But he's saying you can send that sound. So the sound of oxygen's opposite, and he said that was what beryllium.
Mm-hmm.
So the frequency of beryllium, you can literally vibrate the beryllium, a cup of water, or a vessel of water, and vibrate it with beryllium frequency, and you should be able to get hydrogen gas from that.
Mm-hmm. Because it has to come from somewhere.
Yes.
Oh.
And also with hydrogen being the only element, so hydrogen is one proton and one electron going around it. Everything else is some type of number of protons and neutrons. I'm sorry, protons and electrons, and you have neutrons in there as well. But it makes me think, what's behind the Russell's periodic table is the first law of the Kabbalion. Sorry, which is the mind is all. So it's mind that influences all these things, and it's a lot of thoughts that it gives me. Because sound, I mean, it makes me think about the possibilities for sound therapy. Is there a frequency that can be in substitute of dialysis? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is there a certain color? You know what I mean? Like a certain color that you can have someone in the room and you send a certain frequency through that room. How would that affect someone with cancer? You know what I mean? I think it's worth a try. Shit. Because dialysis, takes more people out than cancer itself. And I understand, like, that's the treatment that's at hand. But, I mean, things like that, and we already know when we listen to a song, it can literally, it can make us cry. It can make us want to party. It can make us think of an old memory. And that's kind of a testament to, the sounds. I mean, yeah. I can go on and on about, like, what you can do with it, I think it'd be cool if we looked at Walter Russell's periodic table and went in a little bit more in depth about it and learn.
I think it's
his thought process.
It's something to study because I never even. This is the first day I'm ever hearing about this type of stuff.
I remember seeing the picture, but never like knew that that's what that was. And I mean, it's a spiral. He said he's seen it as a vortex. And he said also at first it was a circle. So that's kind of like a sine wave. If you look up a sine wave, you can plot a sine wave in the shape of a circle. Basically, it's just like this is a circle, and then the sine wave goes like this. If you can see what my hands is doing, it's like. Or you can just Google it, but
if you want to know what a sine wave sound like, just listen to Drake music. He employs a lot of sine waves into his music, a lot of melodic basses and things of that nature. And that is actually true about the chlorine because it's like the number one product that sells with the chlorine is sodium bicarbonate, which is basically baking soda, which it counteracts immediate. Like if you pour chlorine, you counteract that pH balance with the opposite of that. But it's ironic that a chlorine company would sell sodium bicarbonate, but most chlorine companies do. So you would then have to think about your business. You would have to think about your approach to life, your approach to spirituality. How do you balance the opposites in your life and in your spiritual development? Is it just you? Or do you understand and overstand the opposites? Because if you don't understand and overstand the opposites, 10 times out of 10, there's going to be a lot of drama in your life.
And I would add to that, you mentioned the sodium bicarbonate, because you can't just have sodium by itself. Like if you let sodium sit outside or just in the air, it'll just catch flame. So you need something that can keep it neutralized until it's needed as well. Because
And
the
that would be the
opposite,
bicarbonate. That
would be the
bicarbonate.
bicarbonate. Yeah.
Bi, because it got that bi in there.
Yeah.
When you said that's like bisexual. But I heard what you were saying though, because it's like in order for something to happen, you have to mate it. Like the opposites have to attract, and that's like so potent in business, spiritual development. You just name an area in life and where you probably stuck in that. It's like anything you stuck in that, you probably just one gender about it. Probably too masculine or too feminine about it, and it's sucking. Anything that's extra girly is ass. Anything that's extra manly is ass. We all know this, right?
Yeah, the law of gender.
You have to have both.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Everybody knows that. I mean, motherfuckers be picking and choosing when they want to go on one side or the other. I mean, we all up here know that, but yeah, it's almost like what's popular at the time. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I mean, that spiral also makes me think of the Ida and the Pingala. Makes me think of Mercury's staff. Double helix. Yeah, I mean, all of this is for people who are very science oriented, material based in their thinking. Because there's some people that would just discredit dreams. Like, if I didn't dream about it too, how was I in your dream? Saying shit like that. But with everything that's been said, your DNA is shining a certain light. Just because you can't see it with your visible eye doesn't mean that it's not shining a light. And I'm saying that to circle it back around, your dreams are projecting, or your dreams are a projection of your DNA. So you're able to see that light that you can't visibly see with your physical eye. You can see it with your third eye. If you get what I'm trying to say, like your third eye can see that light, which is your DNA that's continuously shining. And you may have dreams about, anything. Somebody getting in a car accident, you being sick, or somebody being sick. It's literally your DNA telling you what's about to happen. And it's almost like astrology a lot of times. With astrology, you may read something in a chart and it'll happen like 2 days later. And I remember asking Hood, and he was just like, that's because light travel. And it's like light bulb went off on the top of the head. So we have to consider things as they relate to light.
You have to, because that's our opposing dichotomy: is lightness, is light and dark, is solar and lunar. And the reality, the proof in the pudding, is that you're a completely different person in the night than you are in the day. Nobody is the same unless they're new moon. They're born on a new moon, and they will be kind of even tempered.
Right.
But most of us have a different reality about ourselves that we never get acquainted with, which is equated to the moon, sex, and dreams. Like that part of people's lives is in such a disarray, such a mess. It's the same equation as if you lived in a house your whole life and you never cleaned that bitch. That's the same ways for which we're living. And then we want to deep dive into spiritual shit. And it's like, dog, you have to be so clear with your inner child to understand and overstand. Yes, you might want to color. Yes, you might want to have ice cream. But we have to go so much deeper down the rabbit hole of who we truly are to begin to get true insight. Insight requires light and it requires no glamour. So the issue with breaking down and realizing what this man is saying is that years and years and years and years and years of karma and you thinking that you're a part of this ego construct when in deeper reality you're a holistic being that requires light and darkness to come to the true revelation of who you are. And another inspiring thing about this man's story is that it's never too late if you're willing to make that realization that I don't know who I am, but I can get to know who I am if I start to balance the opposites. Known and unknown is an opposite that niggas have to really look and deal with. I don't know who I am. This is why I dream journal. This is why I'm doing this work. But as I'm doing this work, I'm also getting downloads that then become patents or become books or become inventions or become botanicals. Like I've like literally invented botanicals that just came to me, access to botanicals, created, and then it's a product. But it just comes from like really understanding this work because it was a point in time where I might have had an idea, but the ego in me would have just said, "Oh man, you'll never be able to do that," and I'll just go about my day, and my family will say some shit, "Oh, you'll never get to do that," and I'll internalize it. But when you realize that nobody can stop you from being so successful in life but yourself, then you start doing this fucking dream work.
Nah, for real. Like, think about a villain. Most villains are created is because half of them are lost. They get lost within themselves. So it's just like if you can find yourself, you will never become the villain of your own story.
Facts. Where you at on this serpent?
And it's a beautiful conversation to be had when he's talking about the marriage of, or the marrying rather, of all of these different elements and components. Like when I was initially made aware of, learn the periodic table in the schools, they always put that stuff into boxes and straight lines. And what he's describing is that those things do not have to represent anything independent of itself because they all come from the same place. And it's essentially what, these three brothers have just alluded to when they were talking about it. Like everything is all one. So like if you think that there's only one part of your life that matters and only one part of your existence that you're good at, like that's missing the point. It's about being able to incorporate, right? Incorporate that inner child and all of that trauma that you went through, all of that stuff that wasn't your fault, but all of that stuff that you demonstratize and you push down and you ignore because you think that's the bad part of you. Like all of these things go together, they are necessary because they make you who you are. And without all of the components, like how could you actually get a full reading on the story?
I mean, it's very crucial because, like, everything that you say, I think you're going to touch on in the proceeding of it. So, whenever you're tired, just let me know because I'm just here working. I'm multitasking, so I could be on this bitch all day for real.
I'm
Don't
doing
get
the
me
same
started.
thing,
Hey,
so
we
y'all
on the
just let me
same
know.
frequency, bro. I'm doing the same thing. I got,
We
I
all
got
we all
else to
multitasking right now, bro. So
Yeah.
Let's get it.
It's curved
Yeah.
nature by two-dimensional.
Go
I
ahead,
thought
Grace.
I thought you was
No, go
pausing
ahead.
before it. Okay.
Okay.
So I mean, that's what I was getting at. Is like everything is so materialistic in the way that we perceive them, in the way that we think of them, and regard things. Um, but he's basically saying, you know, there's a large part of existence that is not physical, that is not sensible. And when I mean sensible, It's not something that you can interact with your five senses. Um, but your dreams pick it up. But we spend so
Mhm.
much time in the waking world that our ability to be conscious in our dreams has dulling so much. It's starting to atrophy. Um, but it's something that we can start working again, just like our muscles, you know. And I suspect that as we get deeper and deeper into our dream work, we will be less and less impressionable on the physical world. We'll be less and less deceived by the physical world. It's like, we're talking about equal and opposite. Our opposite is our dream life. Serpent said we spend a third of our life dreaming.
Mhm.
That's a fact.
That's tremendous. That is tremendous. So if we're not doing dream work, we're only living 60% of our life, 66% of our life. So we getting a D
Damn.
on on us being perceptive of our reality.
But that's depending on you live perfectly. But I'm gonna guarantee you
Hmm.
probably not going to be living perfectly if you're not fulfilling your dreams.
Yeah,
It's literally called a
yeah,
dream wife, a dream car, a dream job, meaning that
yes.
the ideal comes from within yourself, and your point of reference is to realize that by being the best version of yourself, and that requires health,
Hmm.
healing, mental, physical, emotional, which
Hmm.
the senses really tie into all of that. So go ahead.
Um, and when he was talking about like curves and you don't see straight lines in nature, um, it makes me think about fractals. You know, it said that the way that I have to find the information, but you can Google it.
It's
Is
fractals in
information
our
that's
computers, our phones.
yes, like yeah, like the way technology work, we can look at the neurons in our brain and be like, damn, it's set up the same way. Or the way that we build cities is similar to like our blood vessels and things like that. And actually, I know it's a polarizing subject, but that book, um, what is the Judy J. King book, the Balls of Fire book?
Uh huh.
She talks about science on a DNA level and how the microbes and the DNA and the cells, they have their own life, and a lot of things that we do is based off of what they're doing. And I know it's kind of hard to wrap your head around it, but think about how you have cravings for food. You might have particular microbes or parasites in your gut that want that, but you up
Mhm.
here thinking like, man, I want a cheeseburger. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Or or hey, I want an apple. It
Mhm.
may be something in your gut that wants that. You know, um, yeah, it's just I think it's all about unifying science.
Mhm.
It's all about unifying science. That way, that you're able to practice spirituality in even the most minute things. That's at least how I'm thinking of it. I mean, like you're
I
not
think
wasting a
it.
moment in your life, but
I think. I think in in today's time we're back to that age old thing, right? Because if we're even just being honest about where science has brought us, just based off the conversation that this this man is having, right? Obviously, science wasn't the whole answer either, right? Because when it comes to spirituality, science doesn't have an answer for that. When it comes to um, anything that exists outside of the five senses, almost universally, the science field doesn't want to recognize it if it falls under that realm of supernatural, right? But I think what he's talking about is that, again, that beautiful marriage. Like, why does one have to exist without the other? Why does one
have to be the opposition. And Hood alluded to it earlier when he said, that the dichotomy that exists within humans is that we have to have opposition, like within our conceptualization of what is and what isn't, right? Pick a side, right? Something that's more feminine or more masculine, it can't be the shit. So what happens when you marry the two? Right? So, like, science has to be married with your spirituality. So, all of this is just, again, pointing back to that. You have to put everything together as one. The minute you start to compartmentalize and separate the supernatural, so-called, the miracles, so-called, the unexplained or unseen before, unheard before, the minute you start to put that into its own box and then treat everything else based off of your five senses, you lose it, right? All of those things go together. It's like I can't give you a test and expect you to be good at that test or even pass that test if I'm only giving you half of the information. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to be good at this test. What would be the purpose of even taking the test if you don't have all of the information? So I think that's what we end up doing as human beings in this material plane, where we want to make everything make sense to our five senses. But what happens outside of that? There are so many things that occur within life that exist outside of your five senses. What do you have to say about that? Right?
I mean, niggas is not going to be able to have that conversation because I'm gonna keep it a buck. Most people that I talk to, they have a woman that they deal with on a spiritual level. Most women that I talk to, rather, and some guys, they like tap in with the woman, and the thing of it is that they're teaching them some goddess thing or whatever the case may be, right? Or they're telling them some spiritual thing based upon feminist views. Feminist views, in my personal opinion, is when a woman is saying you don't need nothing besides what you want, and your problem is you're not able to manifest. So let me teach you how to manifest, basically. And so this is basically what men and women do on the spiritual front, is give you mumbo jumbo ideology, exercise routine, workbook, whatever the case may be, right? And the reality of it is that you need probably to balance your shadow with the masculine side. So the problem then becomes, well, when I'm dealing with a masculine energy, I'm fearful, I'm afraid, I'm angry, whatever negative emotion you experience, but that is what you literally need to work through before you get to any level. And the reality of that is it doesn't come from a woman, it comes from a man. And most people, like my kids, right? They don't always like me because I'm always gonna discipline. At this stage of life now, I'm always disciplined. And I don't even care, right? Because they reach a certain age where they don't need me to coddle them. They don't need me to be nice to them. They only need me to discipline them, right? And they don't like that. They want me to think of fun shit for them and stuff like that. But they don't need fun shit. They don't need activities. They need to understand what pain is, to work through and alchemize pain. They need to know what pain is so they can understand how to heal. Like they need to understand their trauma. They need to understand so much about life that is difficult, that if me being their dad, they can look at me as a soft spot, I'm not doing my job. And so you risk being a dad losing your child. And that taught me, like, damn, most people hate their dad because their dad wanted to discipline them. That's it. He wanted to provide structure for them. And they didn't want that. They wanted to do whatever the fuck they wanted to do. And then it will drive you into a nigga a spiritualist, a preacher that's gonna continue to see this false belief that you do not have to balance your opposite spectrum out. And so how I see it is like, damn, this shit is gonna be real fucked up for a long time because people really are like choosing a side. Have you ever heard of the man versus bear?
No.
Y'all haven't
What was
heard of
it?
the man versus bear? Man versus
Uh,
bear.
Nasty
no,
work.
I haven't.
Nasty work. But go ahead, big bro. Yes, I've heard of it.
The basic concise of all the women that people ask, even the men, is that if you're alone in a forest, who would you rather see? A man or a bear? And a vast overwhelming majority of the women say they would rather be in a forest with a bear. And I'm telling you, the facts of that is so crazy to me that I understand what's happening. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I'd rather you hate me for telling the truth than you love me for me telling you a lie. That you could do it by yourself and you don't need a man. But every time you get in front of a man, you want to beat his ass or you want to ignore a man and shut a man down. But we're talking about the science. You can't have spirituality without science. Your ideology shouldn't precede your biology. You literally have been created for masculine and feminine purposes. So like this is just a larger conversation that I think we should be having that I feel like we don't have at all.
I think you I don't think that deserves anything other than like a bow. Like honestly, like you put the perfect bow on that thing. Like it can't be said any better than that, big bro. Honestly.
And we don't never see a bunch of niggas being spiritual. And at the same time, we would never be exclusive to men. Right? We're exclusive to anybody who have a soul that want to do spiritual development. It just is what it is. We all are in agreement that to balance out our energy, we need the divine. I think. Am I correct in that assumption, fellas, or am I
One
saying it all
thousand
wrong?
percent.
No,
One
for real.
thousand percent.
When you even think about it, when you think about a lot of young men who are struggling, what you think they missing?
The divine feminine. You need it. You need it in your life. And you need it in a righteous way. And it is no nigga that is in his proper masculine energy going to say that he doesn't need a woman. And if he does say that, then your ass should be running for the hills. The same way I'm running for the hills if a girl say I don't need a man. That doesn't even make logical sense when I'm a man. If you don't need a man, you don't need me.
Which is super weird, right? When you think about it, like you don't need a man doing all of this masculine shit, right? Like, you running around doing all of this masculine shit, but you don't need a man. But yet you're doing the masculine thing. But even whether you're so-called successful at it or not, it's inconsequential to the fact that you're still using masculine principles to live your life every day. You clearly need a masculine presence in your life. And like Hood said, it's the same way the other way. The men that are struggling, that are dealing with what they're dealing with, a lot of it has to do with them not being comfortable with being able to express that to a feminine presence within their life.
Within
Or even be
themselves, shit.
yeah.
Feminine
Or
presence
even
within
being able to
yourself.
be honest with themselves about it. Like you 1000% right, bro. Like that is it, bro. Like if you lonely and you down and out and you woe is me and all of that shit, like yeah, you need a feminine presence in your life. Period. It is not to say to jump on Bumble or jump on one of these apps and go find you a girl. Like no, like you need to speak to what you need.
I'm
Period.
gonna
You need to
just say
speak
this.
to it.
I'm gonna just say this. There's never been a man in the history of life that had a counterpart that has been suitable that woke up depressed. So when you look at the person next to you and they depressed, you kind of understand or overstand it. It don't got nothing to do with you personally, but that person is not present in the relationship. Like that person don't appreciate what's being happening or nothing. Like because when you love energetically. You love as a balancing out. I'll say even deeper. You love yourself in that person. That's a joyous occasion. So a lot of y'all be having arguments and things of that nature and normalizing that shit and thinking that's what is love. No, that's like you arguing with yourself all the time. That don't even make sense. Like you should learn to love yourself and love your partner and get to this spiritual work for real. Because the reality is that many people call spiritual development searching for their better half. And the deeper part is that you never find it because you motherfuckers is buying herbs and crystals and different concoctions that a motherfucker can think of, right, that don't benefit you, or maybe they do benefit you. But I'm gonna tell you the most important thing. You shouldn't be buying shit until you figure out that equal opportunity side of your life. Because I guarantee you that shit that you buying is a replacement for that very masculine thing or that very feminine thing. That's why niggas get the fucking cyber trucks, right? Or
Super
whatever they
facts.
trying to buy. They're trying to buy love. You can't buy love. It's so many rich niggas in divorce court thinking that you can buy love. Like I'm telling you, you can't buy it. It got to be something that you understand or understand about the opposite side of life. And it's just so amazing that he's breaking this shit down in a scientific way, but we can interpret it in our spiritual way and it all be in the same alignment because this is actual truth.
I'm just letting you know when she see that 392, she not thinking about the love she gonna give you. When she see that 392 in the Hellcat SRT with the Glock 7 with the switch on it, bro, I just want to let you know she thinking about the pipe and the money she finna get from you.
Yeah,
Oh,
it never really equates to anything that's going to materialize to be fulfilling within your life. No matter how many accolades, no matter how many things you can put in your little stool of whatever and say, yeah, I got all of this, I got this, I'm coming to the table with this. What you got? Yeah, that don't work. That table is non-existent. Just the fact that we having a conversation about a fucking table is fucking repulsive to me. You know, these people just missed the point and they're forcing you to lose yourself within all of this tomfoolery, all of this spiritual mumbo jumbo, talking about you need to do this to get that, you need to do that to get this, and then one of these people are talking to you about your fucking biology. And then one of these people are talking to you about your fucking DNA and the components that actually come together and make up you, who you are and what you are. It's really it's not it's past laughable. It's almost to the point where it's sad, you know,
It's
that
delusional.
you could allow so many other people to tell you about yourself and you not just take the time to just be honest with your fucking self. Like it's crazy.
right.
Man, oh man.
It makes me think
In
about
order to heal, it starts
the
with you first.
right. And I was just about to say, like, it's a lot of healing that needs to take place before
Yeah.
even, you know, seeking your opposite, for lack of better words. Because once you get to your opposite, you don't know what God has in store for you. That person may not be healed. And not that you won't have to heal them, but you may have to show them a better way. And it's up to them, you know what I mean, to make that decision. Um, because it makes me think about like the relationship I'm in and like the decent example I had from my parents. You know what I mean? They weren't perfect because my grandparents is a mess.
Mhm.
But her upbringing, her parents were even worse,
Mhm.
and we got to be real with the fact that, damn, we haven't even seen a great example. So we out here just talking about what we want and what we don't want, like we at Cold Stone or something like that. And
Facts.
is that's not what it is. And I'm learning that in real time. That's not what it is. You know, I have a Pisces sun and a Capricorn moon. She has a Leo sun and an Aries moon. So it's like we get together and sometimes we disagree on shit big time. Then other times it's just like, damn, like I'm very serious and structured. And she just like, man, let's just go for a walk. Let's go to the mall or something. You know, you gotta be so in tune with yourself to know that to know what you need for yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't need no spiritual woman putting yoni eggs, you know, in her yoni. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with that. But she compliments me more, you know what I mean? That just flat out, you know, like she compliments me way more than a super quote unquote spiritual woman doing all these different things, you know. And sometimes you just need to figure out what's best for you, not what you want for yourself because of what you see around you, you know. Because we need the bitter and the sweet, you know. Because lemonade is good as hell. You're not about to put pineapple juice in a cup and put sugar in it.
You sick as fuck if you doing that. I just want to say, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You got parasites if you put sugar in your pineapple juice. I don't give a fuck.
That was beautiful. I like that.
Yeah. Let's do a little bit more reacting. Let's see.
I caught that.
Hold on, can you pause for a second?
This is.
Can you pause for a second?
Yes, pause, Serpent.
They suspended us on YouTube, bro.
What you talking about?
They suspended the live on YouTube, bro.
They say we still alive.
I was just looking at it and it says suspended for violations.
Yeah, because I'm sure like I'm broadcasting on mine too. So
I think y'all on different.
Is it because we playing this video?
Probably so. I mean, I'm just saying when they got to speaking about Anunnaki and the world not being flat, you see how the video went out. But I'm gonna shut the fuck up.
Oh, damn! I see people saying it in the comments. And what the fuck is that? Today, Malcolm X's birthday. Fun fact of the day. But what the fuck is going on, man?
Bro, we doing something right, bro.
Family, I want to introduce you to the Matrix, as this is what the Matrix does. You know, we got things set up, but don't worry, fam. I appreciate all y'all for joining, watching. The show still going on. We getting things figured out right now, but also think about